Hello, hello, hello. This is the Go Make Things podcast. I'm Chris Ferdinandi. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I'm talking about managing your energy and the importance of having a mix of tasks as a developer with ADHD. Today's episode is brought to you by ConfigCat, a cross-platform launch darkly alternative that's easy to learn and quick to set up. ConfigCat lets you manage feature flags without redeploying code. I'll be talking about them more at the end of the show, but you can learn more right now at configcat.com/go-make-things and get 20% off any plan with the code GO25. Onto the actual content of today's episode. If you work for yourself, if you're like a freelancer or a consultant, you probably have a lot of autonomy over what you do in a particular day, how you set your own tasks, that sort of thing. But if you work for someone else, if you like have a boss, and even if you don't have to go into the office, just having a job where you're supposed to be online at a certain time and you're assigned things to do rather than getting to pick your own tasks. Having a mix of big, challenging tasks and small, mindless ones can be really important for how you manage your energy. And I say this as someone who's neurodivergent. I have ADHD. I'd imagine a lot of neurotypical folks experience some of the same stuff, but I know from talking to my fellow ADHDers, this is something we feel very acutely. So generally speaking, my ADHD, I'm going to speak about, my ebbs and flows of productivity, but for my ADHD, I thrive on challenging, meaningful work. Building out new features is fun, and the novelty of them is motivating. Most days. Sometimes, though, I have a day where my brain just isn't quite there. Other times, I'll wrap up a stretch of deep work and my brain will be spent. Or maybe I've got meetings just all day long with some small gaps in between them. And this triggers my ADHD waiting mode, which I may or may not have an episode on. I definitely have an article, so I'll try to drop a link to that down in the show notes below. But I think where I'm going with all this is that being able to pick your tasks is an ADHD accommodation. I found that having a mix of tasks to choose from based on my current mood, energy, and mental state is a major win for my ADHD. And usually that means like I have one or three big, like we need to build out these features kind of things. And then a bunch of smaller, like I don't even have to think about them, just little bug fixes or little styling things, just stuff that doesn't involve a lot of brain power. And that means I can dive into those deep tasks when I have some large, uninterrupted chunks of time and do some of the more menial stuff on days where my brain just isn't in it, or on a day where I have a ton of interruptions, lots of meetings and things like that. It's a nice alternative to just staring at a screen, hoping your brain will start working, which anybody who's got ADHD can attest happens from time to time. Today's episode was brought to you by ConfigCat, the feature flag service that helps you release features faster and with less risk. ConfigCat makes it super easy to manage feature flags in your code with open source SDKs for more than 19 platforms, including JavaScript, Python, Ruby, Java, and even Rust. You can toggle features on or off remotely without redeploying your code. Use feature flags for gradual rollouts, A/B testing, canary releases, or instant rollbacks, all from a friendly visual dashboard. I've worked at places before that have used feature flag systems, and being able to commit code into production and then turn it on later without having to time your release or hold back other code is just a really awesome thing. So services like this are amazing. ConfigCat has a forever free plan. And if you go with one of their paid plans, you can get 25% off with the code GO25. Learn more at configcat.com/go-make-things. Using that URL helps them know that you found about them from me, so it helps this show grow. And start shipping smarter today. That's it for today's episode. I will see you next time. Cheers.